New York City, the city that never sleeps. So many people and so many endless places to visit. Getting there is different for everyone. How do New York City drivers get to their destination through the hustle and bustle of the city life? Today, I seek to answer the question: is driving in New York City aggressive or assertive? As I take onto the streets to show my daily experiences behind the wheel, share statistical data and motor vehicle collisions citywide, and perform interviews on driving experiences with drivers. Stay tuned, there's more to come. For that.
Yeah, some people don't know how to march. Thank you, friend. Vehicles are merging on the road. Proceed policies for non-licensed driver. What's that vehicle? He's trying to dodge everybody.
And it's supposed to be a yellow
He's
cab.
on top of the other. He almost hit us too. Look at that. And he's on the bus too. Looking, raising down. I thought he was gonna
He's
hit
getting
us.
chased by the cops. Look.
That's why. He scared the crap out of me too. I thought he was gonna hit us. Look at this one.
That's the same school bus. Look, it just cuts in and out. This is not even safe. Look, tailgating.
Tailgating, going back and forth, waving back and forth.
To analyze the quality of driving in New York City, let's compare statistical data on motor vehicle report for September 2023 across the 5 boroughs. The total number of motor vehicle collisions was 8,130. Total injuries and fatal collisions accounted for 3,543. This means 43% of total collisions resulted in injury and death.
Now let's take a closer look at how each borough ranks for vehicle collisions and injury and fatal collisions. For vehicle collisions, Brooklyn ranked number 1 at 34.7%, Queens number 2 at 27%, Manhattan number 3 at 17%, Bronx number 4 at 15%, and Staten Island number 5 at 6.3%. For injury and fatal collisions, Brooklyn 34%, Queens 28%, Manhattan 16%, Bronx 16.5%, Staten Island 5.5%. Why is the injury and fatal conditions for Bronx 1.5% higher than its vehicle collision? This data leads me to conclude that inasmuch as Bronx ranks number 4 in total vehicle collisions, drivers in the Bronx are just as likely to be involved in extreme aggression as much as drivers with high-ranking collision rates like Brooklyn and Queens. What's puzzling to me is Brooklyn has the highest collision rate in New York City. Why is that? I was curious, so I decided to take a look into another driver's dashboard camera.
Around 15 years.
15 years, okay.
21 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
okay.
I started driving since I was 17. I would say 1997. I've been driving.
Oof. Since I was 17, 18.
Wow, that's
40,
been a
I'm
long
40
time.
now, so.
Um, back and forth to work every day. So that's twice daily?
Okay, twice daily in a week, like 5 days a week.
Daily?
Yes.
That's every single day.
Every
7
single day.
days a week.
Wow.
Every day.
Daily.
Every day.
Oh, I come in here five days a week.
5 days a week.
Plus, I head to the city on Sundays, and then sometimes I head down to Brooklyn. So I'm almost every day on the road.
Cool.
Well, right now I'm not driving because I'm in the process of getting getting a new car, getting a car again. But when I was, it was every day. Every day I did. I was working 2 full-time jobs, and so it was an easy commute to those jobs from my house to those jobs, and then other than that, at one point after those jobs, I started doing Uber, so I was on the road every day. Like,
I hate it.
What do you mean hate it? Can you be specific? Explain
It's
yourself.
it's nerve-wracking, dangerous. People in New York City don't obey the law. What else? The streets are horrible, potholes?
In New York, like your
Well, it
experiences.
depends on being a passenger. It depends on being a passenger in a private transport or in the public transport. So, being in the public transport, I feel that I'm safe.
Yeah.
Right. I feel safe in terms of how the driver actually manages or drives the car. You know, but as a passenger with other passengers, that's another story, you know. But in terms of being a passenger of that bus, for example, I am safe, you know. But as a passenger of a private transport or a private car, sometimes I am adamant, okay, or and some I am feeling not safe because the drivers that I hop into or ride with are sometimes, you know, not minding about the safety of their passengers.
Right.
You know, sometimes they tend to be reckless. Sometimes they try to, maybe because they want to avoid something, or maybe because they are rushing. So that's how I feel with the private transport.
You gotta be on your toes. So people, you gotta be assertive or aggressive. I don't know. Let's see when you drive. If you don't, you're never gonna get anywhere. Right. You gotta be willing to get in tight corners, get in front of people. You know.
Right. Quality and
Definitely assertive. You got to be assertive because, well, I'm on the 95, I-95 most of the time, and if you're not assertive, you probably won't get anywhere. People will cut you off. They will without warning too. They'll just get in your way, get in front of you, and not, and just expect you to know what's going on in their mind. But you definitely have to be assertive. Sometimes aggressive. Sometimes I wouldn't say I'm an aggressive driver. I'm assertive.
yeah.
Because if you, like I said, if you're not assertive, you probably won't get anywhere. But there are times you have to be aggressive because depending on the situation, you're stuck behind somebody and they can't move and nobody will let you through. So you have to get in the way
Right.
and make your way out of the situation.
I mean, it has its a lot of heck. You know, it's hectic. Um, it could be chaotic, based, when it comes to traffic or people that don't follow the rules of the road. Or the problem with New York is this: I guess that you have a lot of people. I don't want to say a lot, but you have a certain percentage of people that like to speed, especially on local streets. They love speeding, speed racing. Is what my mother calls it. So other than that, though, it has its. I would say it's more. I would say 60-40, maybe 60% bad and chaotic and 40% good, I guess. It depends on the person. It really depends on.
I would definitely try to fix the streets, get rid of these potholes, and I think we should have more traffic police.
Traffic police.
Yes,
Why?
because there's a lot of people that don't obey the law. You have cars that don't stop at the stop sign. You got cars that eat the traffic light, stuff like that.
If there is something that I can change, um, I would rather want to have a driver that I can ride with, the same driver that I can that I can ride with and I can trust with all the time.
So trust is the big thing.
Of course, of
Yes,
course.
yes. And the experience as well.
The trust, the experience already goes with the trust, or the trust
Hand
goes
in
with the
hand.
experience.
I mean, potholes and better infrastructure. So the infrastructure, the city, the highways, everything was built for early 20th century, where not everybody was driving, and we didn't have 8 million people and 16 million in the greater area trying to commute in the city. So we have a infrastructure from the beginning of the 20th century for the first part of the 21st century. So somehow, and there's no easy answer to that.
So renovations need to be made.
Yeah, but
the new increase in population. You mean?
Right, but also these jobs that they do can't take 2 years to complete and jam up everybody as what's happened, especially in the Bronx River now. So, maybe somehow finding, maybe just building a whole new highway somehow, somewhere else or above or below or something that doesn't interfere with the.
So grind. You think we don't have the space for all this this hustling and bustling that goes on in the city with the
No. I mean, if you really want my opinion, if you can build a direct highway that goes from the George Washington Bridge all the way to Connecticut and bypasses the city, you would save a lot of traffic of all the trucks and all the commuters going to the city. That's just something that I always thought about, somehow doing that.
Okay.
Or building up double-deck highways.
What would it be? Okay.
I would say to make it easier, less road rage from what I'm seeing, if they would have like certain key areas, if they would have cops there, like even a police car, just to prevent people from like, say those who are driving on the shoulders and just trying to skip the line, if they would get like some cops there sometimes, it would probably definitely help.
Especially on those bus lanes, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, they need to enforce those bus lanes because
there's a lot of drivers. They like to cheat.
They like to cheat.
They love to cheat. Yeah, and that's it's annoying. Everyone's waiting in line. Sometimes you're trying to get home.
Yes.
And you just like going through the process. But there are those, and I've seen like I've seen the drivers. Some are kids too. They just want to go around and just get in front of you and just like disobey all traffic laws.
Yeah,
and that gets on my nerves.
Right.
Yeah, so that if it gets on my nerve, I know there's a lot of drivers that just get irate with that.
Right.
Probably the patience and the aggression and patience. Like a lot of drivers don't have patience, and a lot of New York drivers have they have aggression behind the wheel. So I mean that I would if anything could change, I would like it to be that, because anything else like with the road, like the rules of the road and stuff, like speed limits and traffic lights and traffic cameras. Other than that, everything seems good on that, I guess. But it would be more on the driver themselves, like their attitudes and how they go about cutting people, not cutting people off, and not honking the minute a light turns green, like the split second the light turns green, they're honking. So I think it's more attitude. I think I would like to see more attitudes changing from the drivers, like, because other than that, when you're driving on the road, that's more, you're in control. Not you can't turn on a car. You know what I mean? I know you have certain things now. The car can turn on by itself, but still, you would have to be the person to press a button or say something for the car to turn on. So it's usually us. It's the human beings. So I really feel that the people should change their attitudes and the way how they carry themselves behind the wheel.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's how I feel.
All right.
My
Assertive?
experience.
If well, I am not driving in New York, but I have a license back in my country, right? But if I can use that license in here to drive in New York, I would say I will be safe, but I will not be safe at the same time. Because a lot of drivers are reckless.
Reckless in New York.
In New York, in particular.
I say it's assertive because people aren't reckless. Most people, when they drive, aren't reckless. They're not just pulling out in front of you for no reason. It's something that they're trying to do. And being on your toes for it kind of comes with the landscape of driving in New York, always being on your toes. So from that perspective, I would say it's assertive more than aggressive. Most of the times, of course, they're aggressive drivers. Sometimes I'll be assertive, sometimes I'll be aggressive. But, it depends on the situation, my rush. But assertive, I would say more so than aggressive.
From the perspective, I would say aggressive is more like, the drivers who just don't care.
Yeah.
They do what they want, like say, they're not really following traffic rules the right way. If they want to get in front of somebody, they just cut in front of the person. That's aggressive to me. Assertive is more like, You know the rules. You will probably if you
Bend
need
them
to
a
get
little bit,
there,
but
you
not
go. You
actually
put your
break them.
signals.
Yes.
You put your signals. You want to go to the other lane and
Right,
stuff
right.
like that. Yeah,
Totally
you'll do
agree.
that. But
Totally agree.
at least try to get a little permission. Okay,
Yes.
can I get in front of you and stuff like that? Yeah.
Aggressive. So,
Most times, I would say New York drivers. I've driven a few places. I think New York has smarter drivers than most places.
oh,
The most was like I drive. I live in Jersey, and I drive on the 95 New York, New Jersey most of the time. I think New York drivers are smarter than where I'm from, where I live in Jersey.
really?
It's just that certain like right now when I'm about to go home, there are certain pockets where the traffic gets like it's horrendous, and then there's some people who don't try to follow the traffic laws. But generally, like if you're on the traffic is smooth and stuff like that, New York drivers are more smarter than other drivers I've seen, other places I've driven.
Assertive.
Oh, aggressive.
More aggressive than assertive?
I was told when I first started driving, you can't be scared, especially like my one thing I used to be scared of coming up as I was driving, learning to drive, was the highway. And I was told you cannot be scared. You have to go with the flow of traffic. You can't be scared. So it's more to me. It's more aggression. And I will say that not only for New York because I've driven in Georgia, I've driven in Florida. Each state is almost nearly the same when it comes to
Okay.
what pertaining to the question that you asked.
So there's a pattern in.
Yeah, it really is. I just feel that New York is more congested, so even though people will still speed and stuff, we kind of watch ourselves compared to maybe a Floridian or a Georgian, like somebody from Georgia or whatever like that. It's more open road, more lanes. They have more lanes on the highway. But New York drivers, yes, I feel we are probably top two aggressive drivers. Like, not saying all of us, but the majority of the city, yes, yes. I think it's way more aggressive.
One.
One. DC.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
If I will be driving, my experience would be much like 2 out of 5. If I will be a passenger, I will be having 3 out of 5.
I'll say it too. I mean, with pedestrians, potholes, assertive drivers, and traffic lights and everything, tight highways, construction, two, generous two.
So there you have it, folks. I've heard from some drivers about their thoughts on driving in the city, analyzed statistical data, and provided first-hand evidence of what it's like to be a driver in the city. While some believe that being assertive is needed to get through the tough concrete roads of New York, others believe that some of these behaviors are aggressive and should be changed. After experiencing what it's like to be a first-hand driver, I cannot help but be puzzled by why some drivers tend to disregard traffic rules and normalize wrong driving behaviors on a daily basis. It makes me wonder if the quality of driving in New York City will ever improve considering the level of aggression and assertiveness displayed daily by drivers. Thank you for watching.